Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by Tri-County Logging. Experienced in sustainable forestry practices, Tri-County Logging can help you manage your property by keeping your woods healthy and generate income. Serving southern and mid-Michigan for nearly 50 years, TriCountyLogging.com.
Hi everyone, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Olson-Silik and we've got an exciting show for you this week. Now this winter has been a little crazy, especially here in the Lower Peninsula. It's been very challenging trying to find safe ice to get out on. Several different ice fishing events have already been canceled for the winter. It's been challenging to say the least. Well, on this week's show, Jimmy and Jordan actually found some good ice to get out on.
Well, that's right, Jenny. This week's show is kind of a cool thing. It's actually just a trip that Jordan and I did last week as we headed to northern Michigan and trying to find some safe ice and some decent ice fishing. We're going to tag along with an elementary school on this week's show and see how they're promoting the outdoors. Then we're going to go over to the Indian River area and check out a couple different inland lakes, trying to find some good fishing up that way. And I think we're going to have time for a crow hunt on this week's show as well. Lots of good stuff. Make sure you stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors.
What a beautiful day in the woods.
Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream. It's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, a sportsman's meat processor and Michigan destination since 1988. Offers a variety of homemade smoked meats and Michigan-made products in-store and online. The Country Smokehouse features an outdoor barbecue and bar. Details at countrysmokehouse.com. By RBM Jigs, a Michigan-based company serving ice fishing anglers around the state and throughout the country. Specializing in ice fishing gear, RBM Jigs manufactures tungsten jigs, soft plastics, and much more. Online at rbmjigs.com. By AnglerQuest Pontoons. AnglerQuest is a Michigan-based company building boats designed for comfort and fishing functionality. For more information, anglerquestpontoons.com. By Polar Craft Boats, offering riveted and welded boats for the outdoor enthusiast. Whether you're targeting fish or waterfowl, Polar Craft Boats have several models to choose from that keep you high and dry. For more information, polarcraft.com.
In our search for good ice last week, we were able to time our trip so that we could be on the ice with the Shea Elementary Adventure Club. Today they were out on Crooked Lake just outside of Harbor Springs looking for some fish. Nate Fairbanks is the principal of the school and is doing everything he can to get kids to experience the out of doors. And for a lot of these kids, this was their first time ever being exposed to ice fishing.
So we have a group of elementary kids from Shea Elementary, our outdoor adventure club out here, and they're just learning how to fish. So taking them out, getting them outside, getting them kind of active and interested in our wonderful outdoors and recreation that we have. So we've been running this club for about 5 years. It got started with Mr. Atterbury and I both moving back to Michigan, and then talking with some kids from the school who didn't have opportunities for some of our outdoor activities. So we started kind of small, and then each year we add something new to it. So the other year we added ice fishing. The year before we did cross-country skiing, kayaking, snowshoeing, archery, brought archery back into the schools. And then this group too is using some of our stuff from the high school, like our laser engravers. So last year they made their own tip-ups, laser engraved their names on them. The year before they used our 3D printer that we had at the high school and made connectors for their bicycles. So they had a pole rack for the back of their bicycles or a mount for that. So just trying to incorporate the outdoors back into the school and then get the kids doing something other than video games.
This?
Yeah, pull it straight up. And then does it feel like there's anything on it?
Not yet. Not yet. No.
It doesn't?
On there.
Go slow. Sometimes the wind knocks it off, or the minnow might have swam around a little bit, but we'll check it.
Yeah, so what we're doing is we went out and we drilled holes, pre-drilled these holes for these guys so that we could make sure that they could do their tip up right where they're going to be jigging with their holes in there with their bait. So hopefully that'll work today. It kind of keeps them separated a little bit. It allows them to have some fun and see each other, and then if somebody does get a flag up, they can all kind of group up and get around the flag. So yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Well, wouldn't you know, with about 10 or 15 minutes before the kids were going to get picked up, we had what appeared to be our first and, well, only fish of the day.
Good job, Sophie! Whoa, whoa, hey!
No!
Yes, get it before it goes back in the hole. Good job.
It's not too often when you're just hoping that when you're ice fishing you catch one fish, but that's kind of what we're hoping for today. It's kind of cool. I did my opening day deer story for the firearm season here in Harbor Springs, and Jim Rummer, the guy is the head of the QDMA chapter up here, who helps partially fund this group here from Shea Elementary. That's an outdoor club, and so their teacher, actually their principal, Nate, had emailed me a few weeks ago and said, hey, if you're ever up in the area, we'd love to show you our outdoor club. And we were going to be up here ice fishing not too far from here, so we came over today just to kind of see what they're all about. And you know, there's a good chance we may not even catch a fish, but these kids are having a ball. Every time a flag goes up, they're all running over there. They're getting exposed to ice fishing. They're having fun. They're with their friends, and that's really, you know, as someone who's hoping to get more people into the outdoors, this is kind of where it starts in a lot of ways. So, again, it'd be great if we catch a handful of fish today. We may not, but these guys will remember this. And it's just a really cool thing. All these people in the community that help fund this, and the teacher and the principals, and it's just an outdoor club because they were seeing there's a disconnect between kids and the outdoors, and so that's what they're trying to combat. So this is something that anybody can do. You don't have to be a teacher or principal. You could partner with your own school system to get something like this going. There's archery in the schools. There's all sorts of programs, and it's just really cool to kind of see people out here, you know, giving back to the resource that they love so much. It's important we all do what we can to help get new folks into the outdoors. And at least today, here on one northern Michigan lake, that's exactly what was happening here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
So we're just going 2 or 3 feet under the ice here. Trout will like to cruise this time of year, looking for small perch, and they'll be just under the ice cruising along. A lot of people don't know what splake are. Splake's a cross between a male brook trout and a female lake trout, and they get pretty big if you get lucky. But this is a special lake. This is Lake Louise here in northern Michigan. We're going to be fishing tip-ups and jigging today, but mostly tip-ups with blue minnows on them. Just a baby.
Perchy?
Just a small perch. I'll put him back.
Well, kind of a false alarm on this tip-up, but we're basically going to be running about as many tip-ups as we can, and then maybe do 1 or 2 jig rods. And it's been, gosh, forever since I did a Splake story. I remember I did one, had to be 10 or 15 years ago, through the ice. But, oh, this is a lively minnow. But, yeah, I've known Dave now for quite a few years, and see him at the Thirsty Sturgeon quite a bit there in just north of Wolverine, south of Indian River. And when we were calling around to people in northern Michigan trying to find out who had good ice, they did, and they have some up here. So yeah, looking forward to it. Should be a fun day. We got perfect weather. There's not a breath of wind, and it's not that cold. It's like about 30 degrees, 28, something like that. So, well, he said, actually Pat, who's been here before, said if we get into the perch, then we're too shallow. So we might be making a move here.
I think we got a perch again.
That's almost a keeper there.
Almost. Yep.
You're saying these Splake can hit kind of any time of the day, eh?
Any time of day. There's no rhyme or reason to when they bite.
Huh.
Sometimes it's a morning bite. Sometimes it's a mid-morning. Sometimes it's early afternoon. And they can be in 2 feet of water, or they could be in 40 feet of water.
Really?
And a lot of times they're suspended.
Okay.
So you'll be fishing in 40 feet of water and the fish are only down 12 feet. So you just got to keep changing depths and changing setups until you get something going, and then replicate it because they're usually in a school. We'll set her down one more time. If we get another perch, we're moving.
Another perch. I'll see if I can get unhooked here. Well, we seem to be finding the perch pretty good. Yeah, nice little 8-incher maybe. But I don't think we're keeping any of these today, so we'll go ahead and slide her back in. There he goes. All right, well, we are putting a few tip-ups out a little deeper. We're, I think, only in like 5-6 feet of water here. We got some out in about 30 feet, so we're gonna kind of cut the difference and see if we can get some of these bigger fish that are in here. Hey, it might even be a keeper. Well, our Splake adventure has turned into more of a perch fishing extravaganza. I'm catching quite a few this size here that are just barely, I think Dave's pretty good at cleaning perch, so I think we'll keep this one for him. But Pat has been out here a lot of times, and he said he's never been skunked on Splake. We got maybe another hour we're gonna give it, but nothing to show for it, and a perfect day to be out here too. So we're gonna get warmed up here in a little bit, and then we're gonna go out and hit another nearby lake that's a good bluegill bite tonight as it gets closer to dark. So, you know, it's a great day on the ice with some good buddies and lots of fun. So success in that way, but as far as the Splake goes, they're just a mythical creature in my mind. Well, we are back at it again. We took a little break for lunch and changed venues. We're now looking for panfish. There's a good bite on this little pond as we get closer to dark. We're just outside of Wolverine, and actually the Sturgeon River is where you can catch steelhead and everything else next to this little pond. It's kind of a cool little spot here. So this is one of Dave's little honey holes that he's letting us tag along with tonight. So we're hoping for big things. These Splake were smarter than us today, but we did catch, I think we got enough perch for a little dinner tonight. And yeah, hopefully some slab bluegills will make an appearance tonight. So already catching some small ones, but Dave said really right around 4:30, 5 o'clock is when they kind of get going here. So
We're just waiting for dark to get here because the big bluegills lay down in the weeds and come out right at dark. So we're just with 2-pound test. We're only about 6 feet deep. This pond does have 12-foot holes in it and carries some bigger fish in it that move these schools of bluegill around. So we have a lot of holes drilled here, and we'll move around periodically to find these bluegills again. So we're using some of the newer technology in drills today. These have come out in the last couple of years. They're basically a hand drill that can be adapted to a brushless Milwaukee drill. There's 3 different companies really. There's a K drill, there's the Mora company that uses this type of drill also, and this one right here is a Nils. This is an 8-inch. Pat has a 6-inch. I enjoy the 8-inch because I walleye fish and bigger fish a little bit more. So it allows a larger hole for me to get the fish through. But all your Milwaukee drills come with a package with a hammer here for you to hold on to. And you put it on your highest setting. You've got 2 lithium batteries, and you literally can drill 100 holes as quick as you can drill the next hole. You can drill 50 of them. So it's at most 10 or 15 seconds for a hole. We're in 8 inches of ice right now, and I'll drill the hole real fast just to show you how quick it is. What I like about these drills is that they can be sharpened easily. This piece on the end is not like the old drills. These can be sharpened without having to buy new blades all the time. This will set you back about $450 total. But the good thing is you never tear off your ripcord, you never run out of gas, and your carburetor never gets junked up. So it'll always start.
Some of the new ice fishing gear is pretty impressive, but you can be as old school as you want. There's no wrong way to do it, just get out there. Now, I have known Dave and his son Nick for several years now, after he took over a restaurant just north of the town of Wolverine and renamed it the Thirsty Sturgeon. Having grown up coming north to this part of the state, I always jump at the chance to be in Sheboygan County.
The restaurant's now going into its 8th year. We're up in Wisconsin and visiting my brother, and we'd driven past a bar up in the UP that's called the Thirsty Whale, and that's how we came up with our name as the Thirsty Sturgeon. And we just never realized we'd be such a destination restaurant. But they're driving from every parts of Michigan to come see us now, and we're very grateful for it. We're located on 27, just north of Wolverine, approximately a mile north of Wolverine, and approximately 8 miles south of Indian River. Right on the Sturgeon River. We have continuous season overturn goes from mushrooms to summertime to bird hunters to ice fishermen, ATVers, snowmobilers. It just continually turns over with the new seasons and all the activities here in northern Michigan.
That's what we're looking for, only we're looking for a little bit bigger. Ready? We'll put it back.
Well, the big bluegills are coming up out of the weeds later in the evening, and your avid bluegill fishermen will know that the little bluegills will take your bobber down, where a big bluegill will push your bobber up. So if your bobber comes up and it looks like it's laying on its side, when you think you don't have a bite, he's probably sitting down there just eating your entire bait up. Because he doesn't have to run with it. He's owning the town down there. We haven't gotten any really good sized ones yet, but they're about ready to start. And we got a various amount of bluegill. We got pumpkin seeds in here. We got perch, crappie in here, some spots, very few. There's a bunch of rock bass, regular bass, smallmouth, largemouth, pike. It's a virtual cornucopia of northern Michigan fish. I'm a little nicer now. This one's about 9 inches. This one Nick Marsh would call a slab-a-dab-a-doo. That's better. Yep.
He never even never made it down to the bottom. Slap-a-dap-a-doo. Well, we're running out of camera light, and the fish are just starting to heat up. So I think we got probably a dozen keepers, I'd say, anyway, so far. Or maybe we'll get another half dozen more. The splake didn't go exactly like we were hoping for this morning, but we did catch some nice perch. It was a beautiful day up here in northern Michigan. We kind of left southern Michigan, mid-Michigan area is where I live, but no real good ice down there. So we were chasing ice and chasing fish and had some success today. Had some not so much success this morning, but it was a great day, good guys. And one of the best parts, we're going to one of my favorite restaurants in the entire state, the Thirsty Sturgeon, just north of Wolverine. So overall, it's a pretty good day. Pretty good day for sure. Thanks to Dave and Pat for letting us tag along. If you're an ice angler and don't have any ice near you, well, I know there are some northern Michigan towns that would love to have you stop in and spend some time. Well, one thing you can be doing that's just a little bit different this time of year if you don't have good ice in your part of the state is to do a little crow hunting. It can be a lot of fun and a little bit more challenging than you would think. February 1st starts the winter crow season. Now, they can be hunted out of season as well if they're doing damage or being a nuisance. Crows are very smart, and if you have never hunted them, well, let's just say it's harder than you think.
They should be coming in right away because they're feeding on a lot of the manure he's got out there, and they roost usually to the west, and they should just come right in on the decoys, I hope. Okay. So we'll just have to wait and see. It should be pretty good the first 15-20 minutes, so we'll have to see. Once it's not windy, that's good. And
is this good conditions for crow hunting?
Yeah, as long as you don't have a lot of wind, that's okay. The big thing. And you want to be below your decoys, which we are. So we should be in pretty good shape here this morning. We'll have to wait and see.
How long have you been hunting crows?
Since high school, even before, if you can believe that one. Yeah, we used to go on a celery farm by my grandpa, and then we kind of graduated and drove around and stuff, got into it a little bit more. Now we're really set up, with area farmers and blueberry farmers and a lot of others. And what's fun is the farmer guys actually hunt with us, like today.
The farmer here today is John Dreyer. Also along was Nick Vandersweg and Jeff Flaherty. The snow was falling, and even though we had our share of misses, we were able to connect on a few birds today. Crows can really do some damage to farm fields, and from what Harold says, getting permission to hunt crows, well, that's pretty easy to do.
Crows, believe it or not, will walk right down a row after you plant corn. It comes up and they'll pick it up. Really? And the big thing we are, because we're big duck hunters, they'll get, on an average, especially in Canada, 50 duck eggs a year per crow. Our motto is shoot a crow, save a duck.
Huh. There you go. There are some crow recipes that you can find online, and I know a few folks that use their feathers when fly tying. Crows are typically hunted to help control their numbers and, of course, help out the local farmers. Well, we were able to scratch out 4 or 5 birds so far. We were having a lot of fun and a lot of shooting.
Usually I like to have them come in with the wind, if you can believe it. Huh. Yeah, a little bit different with crows. They see you, as you saw, they flare out in a hurry. Any movement, that type of thing.
They're pretty tough to hunt, aren't they?
Oh yeah, this time of the year is probably the toughest.
Oh, okay.
Our August and September, a little bit easier hunting then. You can sit in standing cornfields next to a hay field or something. Got some farmers that we do in that, so a little easier hunting.
So if you're looking for a new pastime, maybe some crow decoys and a collar are in your future. They are fun to hunt, and you're helping out your local farmers at the same time.
Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you stay tuned in upcoming weeks. We've got a lot of different stories for you to enjoy here on the show. We'll be doing some open water fishing here in the winter, some more small game hunting, and even some goose hunting. If you'd like to see where we are and where we're headed next, you can always check us out online.
Well, that's right, Jenny. Online is a great way to kind of keep tabs on us. Our website is michiganoutofdoorstv.com. We have full episodes of the show there every week. We're also on most of the social media sites if you want to check us out there. And if you're ever on YouTube, you can subscribe to our channel there and get an email every time we post something new. Lots of good stuff coming over the next few weeks. And as always, if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by.
Do you dream of somewhere bigger than your backyard? You can get there with Greenstone. Whether you want to hunt, fish, hike, or just watch the sunset, we're ready to help you own your place in the great outdoors. To learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com.
Michigan's hunters and anglers are essential partners to the health of the state's wildlife and habitats. The Michigan Wildlife Council is dedicated to ensuring our hunting and fishing heritage and Michigan's natural resources are preserved for future generations. By Showspan, producing consumer shows including Outdoorama February 27th through March 1st at Novi's Suburban Collection Showplace. The show features tackle, trips, boats, outfitters, the trout pond, and of course, Big Buck Night. That's Outdoorama in Novi February 27th through March 1st.
Closed captioning provided by Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land. I am a Michigan man. From the Keweenaw down to St. Joe, Kalamazoo, East to Monroe, to St. Marie.